Have you ever noticed how everyone in your area suddenly starts dressing in the same way? Like one day nobody is wearing cargo pants, but the very next day they are everywhere and everyone's wearing them? Or have you realized that you and your friends are now all shopping from the exact same stores and are also buying almost identical outfits nowadays? Now what if I told you that there is actually a reason for this, and no, it's not just because all of you have great taste. See, a big part of this is actually because of recommendation algorithms. In very simple words, these are systems that suggest what you might want to watch, buy or read next based on what you have already liked in the past. And very slowly, these recommendation algorithms are making our society more and more uniform and similar. Today, I'll talk about how these recommendation systems on platforms like Instagram, Myntra, YouTube, Amazon, etc. are actually making us all dress the same, think the same, and also buy the same things. So if you are a marketer, an entrepreneur, or just somebody who loves fashion and technology, I am sure this video is going to be super interesting to you. This video has been made possible thanks to Zerodha 01 Media Network. My name is Bansal, and let's decode. First, let's get a very quick understanding of what recommendation algorithms exactly are, because this part is important. See, these are, like some of you might already know, basically the technology behind those you might also like suggestions that you see on Amazon, or the endless scrolling content that you find on your Instagram Reels or Explore page. Earlier, people mostly curated their own feeds by choosing and following specific pages or brands that they personally liked. But now, because of features like the Explore page, a lot of what people like you and I see is actually picked by algorithms, and we cannot completely control it anymore. Now, the main purpose of these systems is very simple. They show you more of what you already like. Now, at first look, I know this sounds amazing, because who would not want personalized recommendations, right? But there is a hidden side to all of this that most of us do not even think about. These algorithms actually create what is called a feedback loop. I'll explain how this works, and I can assure you it's much simpler than it sounds. Say you buy a pair of white sneakers on Amazon. The algorithm immediately thinks, okay, this person likes white sneakers, and they suddenly start showing you more white sneakers. And maybe if you click on one of those recommendations, now the algorithm is even more convinced, and they think this person really likes white sneakers, so therefore it shows you even more white sneakers and maybe also some socks to wear with them. And in this entire process, before you even know it, your entire feed is just filled with white sneakers and its related products. And this, mind you, is happening to thousands and thousands of people at the exact same time. Now, what's really interesting is that these recommendation systems actually use two main methods to actually decide what to even show you. The first one is called content-based filtering. Now, this is basically when the system looks at the details of the products that you have liked before and then shows you very similar items. So for example, if you've been looking at blue denim jackets, it'll show you more blue denim jackets or maybe other blue denim items. The second method is called collaborative filtering, and this one plays an even bigger role in creating uniformity. It is basically the whole people like you also bought this idea. Now the system basically looks for users who have similar taste to you and then recommends items that those similar users have liked, which means you are also likely to like them. So now, if a lot of people who bought white sneakers also bought a specific type of jeans, guess what? You will probably see those jeans in your recommendations as well. And the crazy thing is that this is all happening in real time across millions of users, constantly reinforcing the same patterns. You see what the problem is? Now let me talk about something super interesting, which is called algorithmic confounding. And this is where recommendation systems get caught in their own trap. See, these systems, like most of us would know at this point, learn from user behavior. But the catch here is that the user behavior is already being influenced by previous recommendations. So basically, the system is learning from data that it has already influenced, and that creates sort of a never-ending cycle which keeps pushing us all in the same direction. I'll give you a real-life example. In 2018, a team of researchers ran a simulation to see how bad this effect could get. They basically created a mock environment where users were shown recommendations based on what they had liked earlier, as well as what people with similar tastes had liked. And what they found was quite crazy. Even just after a very few cycles of doing this, users who started off with very different preferences suddenly started moving towards the same few popular choices. For example, somebody who say preferred indie music and somebody somebody else who liked jazz both eventually started engaging with the same trending pop songs. And what's interesting is that researchers also noticed that people who had more unique tastes at the beginning were the ones who were pulled into the mainstream the fastest. It basically showed that recommendation systems can very quickly flatten diverse tastes into just a few dominant trends without people like you or I even realizing that it is happening. And that, my friends, is very scary to say the least. But honestly, while all of this is fascinating from a consumer side, it is even crazier if you're running a business. Basically, chasing every trend and trying to keep up with these fast shifting patterns can seriously mess up your planning and your expenses if you are not careful. That is why tools like Odoo Expenses are super useful. Now, this tool collects all your company's expenses into one neat dashboard, and it makes it insanely easy for your team to submit receipts, whether it is through email, scanning a receipt on the phone, or just dragging and dropping it on the app. Plus, the magic really happens when you create a full expense report with just a single click, because it makes it super easy for managers to review, approve, or even comment on expenses. And it is not just that, once all of that is done, expenses get automatically posted on your accounting books as well, and that saves you a ton of time for you to focus on the core part of your business. Basically, with Odoo Expenses, you can stay organized while you still move fast. And the best part is that you can use your first Odoo app completely for free. If you want to check it out, the link is in the description below. Anyway, coming back to our story, you might be thinking, but I discover new trends on social media all the time. And you're absolutely right. We all do discover new trends, but the problem is we are all being made to discover the same new trends. In fact, the way social media algorithms work actually amplifies popular content more than unique content. Think about that again. It amplifies popular content more than unique content. So basically, when something starts trending, like those baggy jeans that were everywhere some time back, the algorithm actually pushes it to more and more people. Why? Because it is incentivized to do so. And therefore, very soon the trend is absolutely filled on everybody's feed. Think about it this way. When was the last time you discovered something on Instagram that genuinely felt new and unusual rather than just a big trend? It's actually becoming harder and harder to find truly unique styles, because everything that gets enough traction immediately gets amplified to everybody. And this creates what is called filter bubbles, where we are all trapped in our own little worlds, and what we see is only what the algorithm thinks we want to see. Now let me talk about something that's probably affecting you right now, and that is called local homogeneity. See, have you ever noticed how people in the same city or the same neighborhood tend to dress very similarly? There is an interesting reason behind this. Many of these recommendation systems also factor in your specific location. So if you live in, let's say, Mumbai or Bangalore, you might be shown what is trending specifically in your city or your area. So that is why you might notice everybody in your office or college is suddenly wearing the same type of clothes. Now this is not a coincidence, it's actually algorithms to a great degree. And by the way, it's not only online shopping that is getting affected by this. Even when we go to physical stores, most of us have already been influenced by what we have seen online earlier. So we are in some sense already primed to look for certain trends before we even step inside a store. And the effects of this are pretty mind-blowing when you think about it. There was a time when the world used to have distinct fashion subcultures like hippie, punks, goths, or preppies. Now these groups had their own unique styles that developed organically over time. But today, it is becoming harder and harder to find these distinct subcultures. Instead, we get massive global trends that change very rapidly, and sadly, they are driven largely by algorithms. And fast fashion brands like Zara and H&M have built their entire business models around this insight. They now spot a trend on social media, they design a similar product, manufacture it, and have it in stores all within just 2 to 3 weeks. In the past, fashion brands would spend months and months creating their own unique trends and then marketing them to consumers. But today, many brands are simply watching what is getting traction on social media, and they're quickly copying it for their sales. We've sort of come to a point where different brands that used to have distinct styles are now all creating very similar products. Just go to a mall and look at the window displays. Sometimes it is even hard to tell which store is which. Another very crazy impact of all of this is on small independent designers. See, in the past, having a unique style was a benefit for smaller brands. But now, if your style does not match what is trending on, let's say, Instagram, it is really hard to gain traction. Basically, the algorithm will simply not show your products to as many people as you would like it to. Why? Because people are not interested. And why? Because algorithms have made us all largely interested in the same thing. You see the vicious cycle? That is the problem. But that said, after all of this, I'm sure you might be wondering, is it all really so bad? Well, to be honest, not entirely. This system in many ways makes shopping much more convenient for us. It helps us find things that we might genuinely like, and it also connects us through shared cultural experiences. But the problem is that there is a real cost to all of this convenience. We may be at the risk of losing something that is very valuable to human beings, and that is genuine discovery and individuality. Because as our lives become more and more digital, following templates might be the easy way out for sure, but maybe not necessarily the best one. Well, that's about it for today's video. If you found any sort of value in this analysis, please do hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, and also let me know in the comments what your experience has been with respect to algorithms and shopping. Don't forget to check out Odoo from the link in the description. I'll see you in the next video. Take care and goodbye.